Hello and welcome back to the channel. As you can see, I've still got the glorious Triumph Thruxton RS Chrome Edition in front of me. Fingers crossed you've already seen my last video. If not, please do go and check that out. But what I want to talk to you today, what I want to talk to you today is about this particular accessory here on my bike, which I use on every bike. I use it on my personal bike, I use it on every loan bike that I get, and I cannot speak more highly about them. I am of course talking about quad lock. I first discovered them when I first started riding, which was 6 years ago when I first got my little 125 Mutt Mongrel. I was commuting down to Horsham 2 or 3 days a week. One day I remember I was coming back and queues were huge, traffic was appalling. I didn't have the confidence to filter then, so I started trying to discover alternative routes back and just completely lost. So that evening I got home, looked for some kind of phone mount, bought some cheap thing off Amazon, used it for maybe 3 or 4 days and then thought this is hopeless. And it was one of those ones where you put the phone on, there's like elastic bands around the corners, it just didn't feel safe at all. So I did some more research and discovered quad lock. But I picked up what was basically just their handlebar mount with their blue, their famous blue little lever mount. And that was that. It was before the days of the shock absorption, before the days of any wireless charging or USB charging. It was just the good old, this is a mount to keep your phone on the handlebars. And it changed my life. It just immediately from then I could have maps up. I had so much more confidence when it came to riding. Fast forward a couple of years as the British Motorbiker, and I started actually working with them, and now I am one of their ambassadors, and every year they're sending me bits and pieces. And what I want to talk to you about is the mount which I've got on here now, and then some other goodies that I've been sent in the post. So typically on my Ducati or most other bikes, I will run something called the Handlebar Mount Pro. I then have the vibration dampener, and will alternate between either the weatherproof wireless charging head or just their standard lever mount, depending on the bike and depending whether I have access to the battery or if there's an available USB source to actually run power to this particular accessory. So I normally use the Handlebar Mount Pro, but in this case here, with this bike, there is no real space to attach the Handlebar Mount Pro. So what I've actually done is I've used their brake or clutch mount. You take off the 2 bolts that normally hold the clutch or brake on, simply slot it in, take their longer bolts and spacers and put it back in. It's as if nothing's changed, and then you can install everything else on top. So that's what I've done here. Has been working an absolute treat. I can even take my phone out now and just, straight on. It makes so much sense. If I don't want to have it that way, so I'm using maps, I'll put it on landscape mode and it's just immediately done. Brilliant piece of kit. Can jump on the bike and go off to a destination I've never been before, and I've got maps to take me the entire way. So if you've been following my YouTube channel for a while now, you'll know that I like to go out and do a POV when I take these bikes out. And the way I normally do that is I have either a GoPro attached to my chest or a GoPro attached to the chin mount of my helmet. And then for sound, I use this little Zoom H1N mic, and I normally attach it round here. One thing I find is sometimes I want to mix it up, and I think, well, hang on, perhaps it would be nice to get some kind of perspective from lower down, not even on the chest, like even lower than that, or right down at the front here, or around. And I'm not one of those guys who has sort of Insta360s or access to loads of different gear and gizmos. But what I do have is something rather special which has been sent to me by Quad Lock, which I think is really going to help with my content moving forward, and that's 2 new mounts that I've been sent. So let's have a look at them. So the first one is the action camera adapter. So as you can see, it has the normal 3-prong, which is universal, and then GoPro, Insta360, whatever it might be, DJI cam, they can all just go in. They've got that normal spindle to connect. The second one, action camera to quad lock adapter. So both of these are designed where you can take your action camera, connect them up, tighten up the spindle, and then either, in this case with this one here, the quad lock adapter, literally put it around the 4-point cross that you have on your quad lock setup, whether that's the lever. I'm hoping for me, in my case here, it will also work with the weatherproof wireless charging head, or if you happen just to have spare bits and pieces, like say you've got a spare Handlebar Mount Pro, or you've got another one of these, brake clutch levers, whatever it might be, just different quad lock accessories. And then this will actually go in with the normal, so it uses the normal screw, the normal thread, everything like that to actually go in, and then attach your camera to it. So as you can see, it does work, which is brilliant. Literally nice piece of kit, just using the normal quad lock sort of a patented way of doing things. You put it on at a 45-degree angle and then slot it into place, and it locks into place. So at the moment I've still got a GoPro Hero 7 Black. It suits me perfectly, great piece of kit. So I've got that pointing forward. Maybe halfway throughout a journey, I think hang on a second and maybe I want to record myself instead. So all it needs to do is take this off, have the camera pointing the other way, and it can then start facing me. I can mix up in all kinds of ways. Remember, Quadlock also do, as I mentioned, the stem mount. They do the brake reservoir, and they also do a wing mirror adapter. So they have so many different adapters that it means you could start to position your camera in ways you haven't done before, which is a really nice touch. So at the moment, as I say, got it pointing forwards. It does work with the Weatherproof wireless charging head, so of course it will also work with their standard lever mount. Just a really cool piece of kit, and it just means if I'm not using my phone at that precise moment, or it doesn't need charging, or I don't need directions, I can put my phone in my pocket, put the camera on instead, or take it off my chest mount or my chin mount, and get a whole new perspective of the ride. This one, the Action Camera Adapter, as I say, works in a different way. You wouldn't have the Weatherproof wireless charging head on, you wouldn't have the lever mount on. You would literally just have your vibration dampener, and then this would screw in instead, and that can act more as a permanent feature on your bike. So if you know you're always going to be going for a ride and there's a certain angle you always want to get, you can just leave that in situ at all times. But honestly, I'm really excited to go out, and what I think I want to do next is actually take the bike out for a ride. It's getting too dark now, so this will be, I'll probably have to wait till tomorrow to do this. Fingers crossed it's not raining. But go out, get some perspective of how it looks going forward, going back, maybe other angles as well. But honestly, excited to see how this is going to work and how it's going to come together for my YouTube videos. Right, hello. So, you've seen the first part of the video. A few days later, because we've had torrential rain here, I've just been out for a ride, just around the block, 20-minute, 30-minute ride, which was lovely. Glorious weather today. And as you have seen from the video, I've switched from chin mount to mounted here, then chest mount, and then back onto here using a different contraption. So the first time it was on here, I used just the quad lock. You can just twist it on, the adapter. From riding along, first thing I noted was you've got to remove the vibration dampener. So when I first put it on, I had the vibration dampener on there, I had my weatherproof wireless charging head, and it was just bouncing all over the place. I'm sure when I watch this footage back, it will just be jumping everywhere. So you would have seen, fingers crossed, when it was on my chest mount, that I actually took everything off and literally just left the clutch brake mount, and I've screwed straight directly into that mount. Keeps it a lot more rigid, and hopefully the footage will therefore be a lot smoother. Disregard what I said earlier in the video about having the vibration dampener on there. You don't want the vibration dampener on there. Just fix it directly onto the mount you have, whether that be the Handlebar Pro, whether that be this clutch mount that I mentioned, whether it be a brake reservoir one, whether it be like a mirror one, whatever it is, just go straight onto there. But and yeah, if you are going to use the adapter that does screw onto that does twist on, then again, try and make sure you don't have a vibration dampener working. But all in all, it's really cool just knowing that I can just take it off, mix around, go from chest mount to chin mount to there. A really cool piece of kit. Really like what Quadlock are doing, how they're coming out with these whole new ideas and mixing it up. Just keep it coming. But yeah, highly recommended. Give it a go.